Here are the assignments I've just gone through. Here's March of the Corn. So let's start with this. And again, the premise is that there's not even been one rehearsal yet here at school. It could be concurrent, so we click on that. We open it up. The student picks their part. Actually, we know they're playing flute, but we don't know if it's first flute or second flute or first, second, third cornet, whatever may be the case. And there are the instructions on the right here that have been embedded as part of the pre-authored assignment. And it simply says here, I don't know if you can read it, but rhythmic accuracy is your chief concern as you play the primary theme of this composition. Composer Amos has been very careful to note 3 distinct rhythm patterns, the dotted 8th and 16th, double dotted 8th and 32nd, which he noted, and also a triplet. So as you practice, turn on the solo line and try to match for rhythmic accuracy. Your goal is that these rhythms become automatic and part of the detached mercato interpretation. Fair, okay? And if I want to add in some over here, that's what it would be. So the student then clicks on Perform. And so they don't have to go searching at all. That opens right up. There we go.
Smart Music will help you set your microphone level. Attach your microphone as shown.
So what we found is oftentimes students don't know where to put the microphone, so whatever instrument they've selected, it shows a picture. If it was a clarinet, it would show the picture there. So we want to make sure they know where to put the microphone. And the next thing we do is we're actually going to set the mic level for them after they put the mic up here. We realized early on that students were not setting the mic level properly. So we go next, see what happens here.
Play the music.
It's now set the level, so it's going to get a good level for both the assessment and the recording. So now we have, it starts at letter B, and it's an excerpt going from essentially letter B to letter C. But if I know most students, and I'm sure that would be validated here, it's probably nice to start it a little bit slower. But the assignment has to do it at the tempo 115 right up here. So as was suggested in the assignment, turn on the solo part and play along with it. In fact, I'm going to turn off the accompaniment, and I'm going to put a click in here so that I can just play along with it a little bit, and so I can see if I can match, especially try to match the double dotted 8th and 32nd, and the 8th and 16th, and so forth, and the triplets. See how close I can get. Now you notice when I hit play, a message is going to come up that says, I can't submit it because I changed the criteria. I turned the solo part on. I changed some things. I slowed the tempo down. That's fine. I just want to practice, so I click on practice. So I'll just do a little bit of this to show you how this works. So I just have the solo part on right. Etc. And maybe I needed to slow it down a little bit. By the way, it's assessing as I go along. Looks like I've done pretty well so far. What happens if I miss some notes? I'll just show you here. What if I got thinking all of a sudden we're in the key of B flat instead of the key of E minor here? Here's what would happen. I know it's hard on everyone's ears. That's what would come up there. It'd be a bunch of red notes. They could go click on those, and they could see, oh, that's the fingering that it should be. The other thing is maybe they need to put something in a loop. Maybe they're having trouble with this little triplet figure here. So we want to start on measure 23. So the student, they double click on that measure, click on loop, and they just want to take about 3 measures. So they want to go measure 23, 24, and 25 to beat 4. So I'm going to move this back over here to 25, beat 4. This is all the student practicing on their own. So here we go, and let's slow it down a little bit. Now what I do want to say is we're taking an audio recording and we're slowing it down. This is a technology we licensed from a company in Paris, France called Earcam. It does a wonderful job of taking an audio stream, and when you slow it down, they actually have an algorithm that pulls the attacks and releases out, and when you slows it down, when you hit play, it puts them back in after stretching things out. So it maintains a lot of the character of the sound. In fact, I'm going to add that to the accompaniment as well, so you can hear the whole band in here. But I'm going to do just a loop because I want to practice this little excerpt. So practice VB, okay. Play. in. We can go over and over as many times. The recording you hear is your wonderful band here too, so we really appreciate that. It's wonderful. It's amazing how well they've done this. It's just amazing. So they practiced, and they got to the point, now let's do it for real. So they think they've got it down, so we click reset, so it opens it up all to the original settings. The tempo, the accompaniment on, the solo line is off. We don't want the solo line on. And the click is off, so here they go. Now, I don't know if you remember, but I made recording part of the assignment. No matter how I start, whether I hit the space bar or hit play or hit record, it's going to record because that was part of the assignment. We're trying to automate the whole process, so when they're ready to turn this in, here's a go. So let's see how I do on this. I got my mic up here. We'll give it a shot. I wish I was playing as well as your students. That's just great. Here we go. The excerpt right there, and it says I got 96 out of percent, and I can look up there. Didn't hear my F sharp. Now what we've done, we immediately start to play the recording so that the student hears that. In the initial version of this program, the students were listening to the recording, so as soon as they're done, it just starts playing that recording. They've got to listen. We want them to hear how they're doing. So I got 96%, not too bad. 74 out of 77 notes, one red note in there. I have three choices. This is the student. Do I just want to try it again? It's doing a week and a half. Do I want to save a take because I've got a week and a half and I might be able to do it better, or do I want to submit it? So let's show you what save a take looks like. So click on save a take. So on this computer, it's saving the score, the recording, the picture, the whole deal. It's being saved on this computer. So the student says, I want to try it again. And by the way, there it is. I have 96 out of 100. The student can click on here to see a picture of their assessment. And if they want, they can listen to the recording. How do we do? Right? That high F sharp got swallowed. There it was. So let me just try it once again, and then I'll show you how this whole thing works when you submit it to the grade books. There we go. See if I can do better this time. There we go. Threw a few E flats in there just so you can see what that looks like. There we go. So we'll now say take two, so we have two of them to compare. Okay, so now the student, and they can save these over time, as long as they're on the same computer that they're doing these takes can be saved, so they can pick, do I want to pick the one with 97% or 96%? Which one do I want to do? So whichever one they pick, let's say they do that. They click and submit this take, and via the internet, this grade goes into your grade book. And up it goes. This is not email. This is via the internet. Much faster. So then, and I'm going to, while I leave here, while I'm still in the student mode, let me go show you that other assignment, which happened to be out of a method book for a student, just so you can see how that works for the younger kids. So here we happen to be one out of the Standards of Excellence. The same thing opens up. Very basic song. All the criteria is the same. If they need to change the tempo, or turn the solo line, or change anything, it'll say you can practice it as long as you want, but in order for you to submit this, you've got to do it at the established tempo and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to do it once through so you can see how this works for the method book material as well. it takes if they want. There we go. And we'll click on submit. Well, there we go. Black over here, black and red mean the same thing. Black means it wasn't heard, red means, of course, it was a wrong note. So it counts in the score the same way. So I'm going to log out as a student, and here is the teacher again. So here you are, you're at school, or you're at home, wherever you want to be with your computer. And then a security password. Oops, didn't like it. Let's do it one more time. Go. So let's go into the grade book now. So this is what you would have, and this is what you would be seeing. So here we have a list of the students down on the left side, and then across the top are the names of the assignments. You notice I have some pretty good students in my class. A little hard to see, and there's Bill, Clinton, and Wynton Marcellus. They have not been turning their assignments in too well lately, so but good old Barb has been doing pretty well. There she is. So here are the last two that I assigned. Here's Ora Lee, and here's the March of the Corn. So you can see at March of the Corn, out of a possible 100 points, we got a 96 for a score. Right there. Can you see that? I wonder if we can. We can't bring that up anytime. Can you see that? 96? So we got a 96 out of 100 on the assessment, and on the speaker, green speaker icon means that I can listen to the recording. So let's back it off so we can get the perspective again. Now, I'll listen to the recording, I'll click on that, and now I get to listen to it and see it as well. I don't have to listen to the whole thing. Listen to the end. I don't have to listen to it if I don't want to. And there it is, out of a possible 100 points, how many might that be? 95 maybe? Whatever it might be. And for the most important part is right up here. What comments do you want to send back to that student? What it might be something about the sense of time, it might be fingering, the F sharp wasn't speaking up high, whatever may be those comments. I'm just going to watch I'm going to do something generic next time. Whatever you want, it could be very positive and so forth. So when the student logs in, they're going to get those comments. But before you click done down here, you'll have one other option. It says email right here. If you click on email, here's mom and dad's email address right up here. And do you want to include the recording and the screenshot? And what's the subject and the message? So you can immediately communicate with them in whatever way you want. One teacher told me that after every single exercise, she sent a very brief email to mom and dad. He says she's never had better communication with mom and dad. They know exactly what's going on. There are no surprises and all that. It might take 10 seconds to do that, maybe not, but it's a possibility. However, when the student logs in at home with mom and dad, they can also see these as well. So when you're done, you click on done. That goes into the grade book. And here's the other one. Here's that elementary one, the orally. Same idea. You can listen to it if you want. Same idea. If you don't mind, I'm just going to write some, put this in for the comments so you can see how that looks, okay? Good. Right. Something like that. All right, here we go. And we'll put in here maybe 95 points. Oops, let's get this right here, 95. We'll click done. So there we go. So now there's the grade right there. So what does the student see now? So you, the teacher, has heard all this information. It's now time that the student gets his feedback. In fact, this is the distant learning, and my wife to me is a great example. She's a middle school teacher in Minnesota. She has a 9th grade band of some 80 students. It's a block schedule every other day for 90 minutes. There's no pull-up program. There aren't 2 teachers involved that come and help. This is how her only way that she can really get to know each student individually is by listening to these, looking at these scores, hear these recordings, and then she can assign things individually based on how well they're doing. If they need to redo it, she can reschedule it. But this is exactly how she keeps track of it. She had no other way of doing this in the past unless she stopped the whole band, pulled out a group, and you know what's going to happen to the rest of the kids while you're working with certain kids. That's the life it is, seemingly, of the director.